Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the Brownells Glock 17 Gen 3 slide cut for an RMR. Yeah, this is going to be a 1,000 round review of, well, really it's 1,200, but yeah, 1,200 round review of the Brownells Glock 17 slide. Gun is empty, as you can see right there. One of the reasons that I got it is because, well, the main reason I got it is because I wanted to put a red dot on my handgun because before all I had was the, well, so I had the Glock factory sights for probably like the first 4 months that I had the gun. 5 months. First 5 months that I had the gun. And then I upgraded to the Ameriglow iDot Pro iron sights. Those iron sights are amazing. And then finally decided to get the Brownells Glock slide instead of going the route of getting my factory slide milled, because I didn't. Two things. One, I didn't want to wait, and two, I didn't want to pay the price straight up, whereas I could get the RMR for the same price as it would cost, you know, to get, well, depending on who you go through, to get it milled. And I got the RMR and a milled slide to accept the RMR for about the same price it would be to get the slide milled. So, and yeah, get it a lot faster. So this is the Glock 17 RMR slide. And real quick, I want to go over some of the stats. So when you, and this is basically how it says on their site. So when you get this slide, it comes in two versions. Gen 3 is available for the Glock 17 as well as the Glock 19 Gen 3, of course. And these slides are available without a cutout. So it would have a cutout on the top, right where the serrations are. So if you get it with a window, it'll have an open top, kind of like a Glock, I think it's a Glock 34 comes with. Yep, so it's available with a cutout, which I did not get, and standard, which is what I have. And then they are machined from 17.4 billet stainless steel to Glock factory specs, so it will accept all. Well, in my case, I read that some people had problems with installing some of the parts, but on mine, the install was pretty easy and it accepted all the parts. And it is a good fit also with the lower Glock 17 receiver. It is heat treated to 4144 on the Rockwell C scale. It is coated in a wear-resistant matte black finish, which I can attest to. With so far having 1,200 rounds, and I'll probably put in some B-roll, it yeah, it has no wear so far on the inside, the outside, anywhere. Like I was thinking that it was gonna have wear on the inside because with every shot that you fire, you know, it's reciprocating back and forth, so it's getting the most, the inside is going to be getting the most wear. For me, this slide has performed 100%. I haven't had any malfunctions that were not caused by me, because there was one time where I cut myself and I got, I'll show the picture and I'll show the video where I made it malfunction by accident, and it wasn't on purpose, obviously. So yeah. And then it also has front and rear serrations, which make it very easy to manipulate the slide either like that or in the back, depending on how you do that. Press check. Yeah, all that. So the front serrations, rear serrations, they're very, very good, very functional. And I think the ones in the front add to the aesthetic. The main reason, unless you love a square slide, the Trijicon RMR cut. That is obviously going to be the highlight of this slide, is it is cut for an RMR. Wow, once you get an RMR, unless you're extremely good with iron sights, man, probably never go back to irons. So we got the front serrations, top serrations, and then on the back, yeah, front, top, and the back, and then we have our RMR. So yeah, those are going to be the main reasons. The main features, highlights of this slide is, yeah, and the slide is really good. The fit is really good. It looks pretty good. Me personally, I think I like the finish of the Gen 3 stock slide better, but this one is more functional, so it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go over real quick how I have my slide set up. On my slide, I have Ameriglow iDot Pro sights, as well as obviously the Trijicon RMR. They have a tritium insert on the back. Front one has a tritium insert there as well, and then it has an orange high vis front to make them makes them pretty good to it actually makes them pretty easy to pick up too when you go to pick up the iron sights. And then I have, if it makes any difference, I have a Vickers tactical slide release, as well as Vickers tactical magazine release, and Surefire X300 Ultra. Oh, and one thing to note is this does require a channel liner, so just pick up a Glock factory channel liner. So if you're just going to swap over from your old slide to this slide, all you need is either upgraded sights or the sights that you have on your Glock, and then a channel liner and channel liner tool. And then other than that, yeah, it's pretty easy. And I did install the suppressor height sights initially when I got it, and I did not like those sights at all. On this, okay, so on this slide, the regular, so your standard iron sights, they're gonna fit in the lower 1/3. Suppressor height sights are gonna be absolute co-witness, which is not what I wanted at all. That was, I did not like that. Yeah, did not like them because they were very distracting. So I took those off, put the iDot Pros on, and this thing has been golden ever since. So yeah, so for anyone that gets the Brownells Glock 17 slide for the Gen 3, I highly recommend standard iron sights, or just taking the sights that you have from your regular slide and putting them on this slide, because they are way better, unless you like absolute co-witness, which I do not at all. Let's talk about the Ameriglow iDot Pros. So those sights, when they were installed on the slide, so for the fit of the iron sights, mainly the rear sight, they fit extremely snug. Same with the channel liner, very snug. So like the tolerances, I guess, on those parts is very tight, but once they're in, they're in. So again, this is a 1200 round review, and I'll probably throw in quite a bit of footage from different range trips. The first day that I took out the RMR and Glock, or yeah, Brownells Glock 17 slide, I fired like 530 rounds. I bought a 500 pack of 9mm Winchester 115 grain, had 0 malfunctions, performed excellent as expected. And then I also shot I think like 37 rounds of Winchester 147 grain, just to test out some 147 grain ammo, and those also functioned flawless, and I'll throw in some footage of that as well. And actually, I don't know if this is a thing, but like when I shot the 147 grains, they actually like didn't kick as hard as I thought they were gonna. I thought they were gonna kick more than the 115, but to me they actually shot flatter than the 115. Don't know if that's a thing, but that's just how they performed for me. I also had 0 malfunctions with this slide. I've had almost 0 malfunctions with this gun in general, but since I've had this slide, I have no malfunctions that were not user error, because I did have one where I caught my hand. Again, I'll probably show that. And then another where what I believe what happened was when I went to reload, I think I dropped the slide too soon and it failed to feed, because I've never had that happen. And I think when I was doing my reload, I think I dropped the slide too soon and it failed the chamber round. Oh, fuck. Yeah, so 2 things of note, but they were user error. Okay, let's talk about the RMR fit. So the RMR fit is extremely snug. So the RMR, when you get that, it comes with thread locker, and it comes with blue, or no, it comes, yeah, with blue Loctite. And I ended up Loctiting the screws, and they do not move. The RMR does not move. The RMR floor plate was pretty difficult to install. It took quite a bit of force to get it down on there because, yeah, I believe the part that accepts the screws is either slightly, just a hair wider, or the floor plate is just a hair narrower. So the holes on the RMR plate didn't quite line up. Didn't quite line up with the part that accepts the screws for the RMR mount, but once I got it on there, everything fit fine. The RMR fit fine. With the Loctite, it has, again, 1,200 rounds with the RMR on there, and it hasn't moved. It does not budge. It is 100% snug on there, and all I did was put blue Loctite on both the screws when I screwed them down, and screwed them down pretty tight when I put them down on there. Oh, and another thing, like, so if you're a Glock hater, yeah, this is going to be extremely ugly to you. And it's very boxy, in case you haven't noticed. If you look at that really close, it is very boxy. It is extremely boxy compared to the regular Glock slide. The regular Glock slide, and I'll put some B-roll in there, the regular Glock slide is more rounded than this, and it's more rounded than this, and yeah, that is a square with like some cuts on it. So if you don't like that boxiness, I guess you're probably not gonna like this. But other than that, it's still in the same form factor. It's just the edges aren't rounded. Other than that, it's good. And fit and finish, when I got it, brand new. Well, even now, there's literally no wear on it. It looks brand new. If I just wiped it off, like, it looks brand new. And again, we'll have some B-roll of that. But fit and finish, when I got it, it was actually nicer than I was expecting. Wasn't expecting it to be as clean and good as it is, and the finish is also very smooth, which is another reason that the benefit of having the serrations, obviously, is to help with that, because the finish is smooth. It's not textured at all, but yeah, it's really easy to grab it however you need to manipulate the slide. Very boxy indeed. The wear has been excellent. The only part that shows any wear, and I wouldn't even call it wear, it's more like buildup, is on the, I believe it's the extractor, or the part that chambers another round. It has brass buildup on it, but other than that, and it cleans up pretty good. Holster compatibility. This is the thing that I had some concern about when I first got it, since it is a tad bigger and not as rounded as the Glock 17. So on holsters, I actually had no problem with compatibility. On some holsters, I have two from T-Rex Arms. It does, so the edge of the slide does initially touch some of the holster because it is so boxy and not rounded like the other slide, like the factory slide is. So it will scratch a little bit of the inside of your holster. So if that's a worry, you might not want to get this and might just have your slide actually milled. Let's see if I can even show it. But yeah, it does scratch the inside of the slide a little bit, but other than that, it fits perfectly with holsters. So this is the T-Rex Arms sidecar in FDE, and yeah, it fits good. And then I also have a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok, fits good in there. Initially, again, it did touch the edges a little bit, but other than that, it doesn't, like, it fits good. Yeah, so initially it will abrase the inside of your holster, but once you get past, you know, once you get your draws in and stuff like that, it's gonna wear in. So, but yeah, holster compatibility, not really an issue. Price, the Brownells Glock 17 slide comes in at about $177, which is actually about the price of getting your slide milled on the cheap. For just getting it milled for an RMR, that's without getting any special stuff done. So it's on par with with getting your actual factory slide milled, which is pretty good, and you can actually get a separate slide, so a little benefit there. So it does come in at a good price at about 170. It's like between 172 and 178, something like that, which is, in my opinion, pretty good. Last but not least, would I recommend this slide? Considering how it looks, holster compatibility, fit and finish, all those good things, having no malfunctions whatsoever, absolutely 100% I would recommend this slide. Unless you don't mind waiting to get custom work done, yeah, I would highly recommend this slide. It is incredible. I will throw in also some accuracy stuff with this, and just showing how my shooting went from on iron sights to using this. And the RMR is the RMR or RM06 by Trigicon, and just the difference is huge using an RMR versus iron sights. And once I did put the Ameriglows on, I did shoot way better than with the factory sights, because I think my factory Glock sights got the front post, I think it was bent. It was bent and slightly slanted on the top. Brownells Glock 17 Gen 3 slide, highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.